Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I am in such a good mood today, and I got so much sleep last night. I feel very, very rested, and so I'm just like banging out videos, and I'm ready to watch some shows tonight. I have season finale of Your Honor, and then I also have, what's the other show? Oh, at midnight comes on Truth Be Told and Dear Edward, which I'm very excited about that. So I'm just gonna relax and get ready for the weekend, and then yeah, I'm very excited about all that. So I want to get in here and read some of the Melody Beatty meditations today. I think I want to go back and read the one from yesterday that was in the language of letting go, because the title looked really good and I didn't read it because I spent too much time on the journey to the heart. So I want to get to this one, which was from March 15th, and it's called Removing the Victim. And I might just read both of these today, because the next one from March 16th, which is today, is called Positive Energy. And those are kind of like, sounds like two good meditations back to back, right? So March 15th, Removing the Victim. Don't others see how much I'm hurting? Can't they see I need help? Don't they care? The issue is not whether others see or care. The issue is whether we see and care about ourselves. Often, page turn, when we are pointing a finger at others, waiting for them to have compassion for us, it's because we have not fully accepted our pain. We have not yet reached that point of caring about ourselves. We are hoping for an awareness in another that we have not yet had. It is our job to have compassion for ourselves. When we do, we have taken the first step toward removing ourselves as victims. We are on the way to self-responsibility, self-care, and change. Today, I will not wait for others to see and care. I will take responsibility for being aware of my pain and problems and caring about myself. You know, it's really an interesting meditation, and I have to tell you, this whole idea of playing the victim. And it's interesting, whenever I talk about this in a meditation and I say, you know, that like people that play the victim and things like that, and I talk about that, I always get like one comment from somebody out there that will say, you know, I think at times that it's appropriate to play the victim and whatever. And I'm not saying that it's not, okay? I think there's something that we talk about in recovery, which is called justifiable anger. And justifiable anger is when you have anger that is so intense inside of you based on something that has happened in your life, whether that be abuse in your childhood or neglect, okay? Or whether that was a horrible breakup or divorce that you went through, or a betrayal of a friend or a loved one, right? Or a tragedy that's happened of a lost one, you know? There's so many things, you know, or financial distress, whatever, okay, that you really have this anger inside of you that you really can't get rid of. And so then, to a lot of other people, you kind of play the victim. The problem with that, okay, and when people say that to me, I always kind of feel bad for them, because here's the situation. It's not about that it's not okay for you to play the victim. It's not about the fact that it's not appropriate or it's not right, you know? The reality is, it's you stuck in this mentality of playing the victim, of being the victim. And the reality is, you have to say to yourself, what do I need to do to take care of myself, to get myself out of this victim role, you know? I was watching this documentary. I think I may have talked about it on here yesterday. Maybe I didn't. I talked about it in my vlog. And it's on Amazon Prime, and it's called Bobby Joe Under the Influence. And it's a fantastic documentary about recovery. And in there at the end, towards the end, she said something about, they asked her about being a victim. And she said, no, I'm not a victim today. She said, I'm victimless over everything that's happened to me, or something to that effect, right? She doesn't say she's a survivor. She doesn't say any of that kind of stuff. She basically says, I am a result of those things that have happened to me. And when I look at my life, and I look all the way back to my childhood, and all the things that happened in my childhood, and growing up, and just within my own family, and at school being bullied, and all these things that happened in my life, you know, good, bad, and different, all of those things formed me into being who I am today, sitting in this chair. And I would not trade that for anything. I love who I am today, I accept who I am today, and I have embraced who I am today. And I don't want to be anybody different, right? But I also don't want to be stuck in this role, and I have at many times in my life where I'm like, well, if you knew like what I had gone through, you would feel so sorry for me. But what is to gain from that, right? What is to gain from this whole like, feel sorry for me, feel sorry for me, feel sorry for me? Yes, people will feel sorry for you. They will. But what changes with that? Nothing changes, right? Instead, what we need is to pull ourselves up, lift ourselves up and say, I don't want to be stuck in this victim mentality anymore. Because nothing changes with that. We don't grow. We don't develop new relationships. We don't take on new ventures. We don't develop new projects. We don't find new happiness in our lives. We just wallow in our sadness and our misery, right? And I don't want that for anybody out there, no matter what pain you've gone through in your life. And I'm not big on comparing pain, you know? Everybody's pain is different in this world. Your pain may be greater than mine, maybe greater than somebody else's, maybe greater than somebody else's. You know, all of our stories are different. All of our pain is different. And so it's not that anybody's pain or story is better or worse than somebody else's. It's all just pain, you know, and what we do with it and how we work through that pain to get to the other side so that we can find happiness in our life and joy, you know. It was funny because Tanya and I were at the gas station the other night, and the woman that worked there, her name tag was Joy, and so we said, thanks, Joy, and then as Tanya and I were walking out of the gas station, we're like, joy to the world, and we were kind of like laughing to ourselves, right? But like, that's where I want to be. Like, I want to be in that moment, you know? There has been so many hours that I have spent crying and miserable. I mean, for years and years and years, you know, that I did that. And I, you know, and it's like this, and we talk about this in recovery as well. This idea that when we come in here, it's like, if you had my life, you would drink too, you know, or if you had my life, you would use too. And we use that as excuses to continue to allow pain to happen. And then the other thing is, this is a recovery saying, but it can apply to anybody, you know, is allowing people to rent space in our head for free. Well, I'm 50 years old. There are things that happened to me when I was 6 years old that still, I can still relive in my head that still causes pain and hurts, right? You think that person that did it to me when I was 6 years old, that they realized that I'm like, do you think as they're like grown up and they have kids and whatever, that them bullying me at a lunch table in kindergarten or first grade, do you think that they know on a daily basis how bad that affected me? They have no clue, right? So then it's about me asking myself, what do I need to do to take care of myself, you know? And I think it's a fair question. And I want that question to be answered by myself because I want to live the best life possible. And I want all of you to live the best life possible. So let's move forward through the pain, you know, accept the pain, and ask ourselves, what does it take for me to be happy? What do I have to do to be happy in my life, you know? Sometimes I think the hardest things to being happy are, I think sometimes the way to getting happiest in our lives are by doing the hardest things and looking face to face with the most difficult obstacles, you know, or removing people from our life that are continuing to bring us pain. I don't want people in my life that continue to bring me pain. I don't, period, end of story. So that was a great meditation. Hold on a second. This was so weird. I just like turned to this meditation in my book and it has this highlighted part. So I want to read this. This is from June 6th. The gift of readiness. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 6 of Al-Anon. We progress to this 6th step by working diligently to the best of our ability on the first 5 steps. This work readies us for a change of heart, an openness to becoming changed by a power greater than ourselves, God. The path to this willingness can be long and hard. Many of us have to struggle with a behavior or feeling before we become ready to let it go. We need to see over and over again that the coping device that once protected us is no longer useful. This is the highlighted part. I have no idea why I highlighted it. The defects of character referred to in step 6 are old survival behaviors that once helped us cope with people, life, and ourselves. But now they are getting in our way, and it is time to be willing to have them removed. Trust in this time. Trust that you are being ready to let go of that which is no longer useful. Trust that a change of heart is being worked out in you. God, help me become ready to let go of my defects of character. Help me know in my mind and soul that I am ready to let go of my self-defeating behaviors. the blocks and barriers to my life. And I think that that goes right along with what I was saying before. I don't know why I got so emotionally moved by that, but I think that goes right along with that. You know, these defects of character, you know, lack of patience, on and on and on. And the things that I struggle with my life, you know, today, you know, that where I try to be more humble and try to be more modest and more caring and of service and things like that. And, you know, all of these anger, you know, is a defect of character and things like that. But these are also just natural ways that we respond to the world. Playing a victim is a natural response to the things that happen to us in the world, right? I think praying to a higher power or the universe or whatever and saying, please remove this. I don't want to continue to feel this way because it isn't bringing me any joy. It's only just bringing me sadness is a really strong way to work through that. And I know when I had, you know, did my step 6 and 7 in recovery and I looked specifically at my character defects, you know, part of that was me at times playing the victim, you know, me at times saying like, God, you know, like if you had my life, if you had gone through the things that I went through, well, you would drink too. You know, when I now know that I have seen and witnessed people that have had it 20, 100, 1,000 times more difficult than I have ever wished to have it in my life, and they never went through everything that I went through and drank and drugged and caused harm to other people. So, you know, it's not a good excuse, you know. What is a good excuse is saying, I'm going to take responsibility for my life and I'm going to work on these issues because I want to be the best version of myself. I want to grow as a person. I want to feel happy, joyous, and free inside so that I can enjoy my life every single day. I love you guys and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.